All right, it is 4:30 and calling the meeting to order. And I acknowledge that the District of Tofino operates within the territory of the Tla-o-qui-aht First Nation, Tla-o-qui-aht. Notice to attendees that the meeting is being video recorded and will be published on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel. Notice to virtual attendees to sign up for public comment and question period using the Q&A function in Zoom. The registered participants are required to enter their full name, residential address, and the agenda item they wish to speak to. Through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I move that pursuant to section 15 of the District of Tofino Meeting Procedure Bylaw number 1229, 2016 is amended. The April 23rd, 2024 regular meeting be held electronically via Zoom and live broadcasted on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel, and that the facility provided for the public to watch and hear the meeting be located at Municipal Hall 380 Campbell Street in Tofino, BC. Seeing no objection, that motion is carried. Also through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I move that the April 23, 2024 regular council agenda be adopted. Seeing no objections, that motion is carried. Consent agenda. There are no objections. Also through unanimous consent, I move that items 4.1 to 4.4 of the consent agenda on the regular council meeting held April 23, 2024 be approved and received. Seeing no objection, that motion is carried. Mr. Shortall, do we have public comment on agenda items?
We have no, thanks Mary Locke, we have no members of the public either in the viewing gallery or attending online via Zoom, so I will not do a call.
Okay, super. Mayor's reports. A few weeks ago now, Councillor Steer and I were able to attend a regional coastal safety prevention and coordination meeting, and that was convened by our Member of Parliament, Gord Johns, as well as the Minister from Stephen Gubol. And it was basically convened to get many members of the region, representatives from coastal communities together to discuss coast safety. And it was an honor and a pleasure to stand with MP Johns and Ucluelet Mayor Marilyn McEwen to call on the government to reinstate the surf program at Long Beach, specifically at Love Can Rock. Many other things came out of that meeting, but that was certainly a focal point for us. Also, whatever's happened, AVICC, the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities, Tofino Council, by and large, was able to attend in Victoria, and it was a wonderful chance to meet other regional partners, elected officials, representatives, as well as many other organizational representatives from BC Hydro, BC Assessment, and on and on. It was a fantastic chance to learn about all of the projects, advancements, as well as struggles that many of the islands communities are going through. What else can I say? We were able to, Tofino was able to advance a, what would you call it? Recommendation? Resolution, thank you. Advance a resolution to UBCM. Calling on the government to support and increase support for first responders and firefighters, seeing that they're taking on an increasing role in emergency response. And following on that, it was also a great pleasure to attend the Tofino Volunteer Fire Department dinner that just, when was it, last week? Was to meet the firefighters. Staff are present, councillors are present to celebrate the amazing emergency services that our wonderful local volunteer fire department provide, and such a great service. Just a fantastic group of volunteer professionals, I guess I could call them. They're doing such a great job. And just a moment, allergies here. Just a second. My goodness. Call my own point of privilege. Sustained from the chair. Oh, thanks. Look at that. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, moving on. We have some blankets here. And these blankets were given to the District of Tofino to pass along to Keith Orchiston, who was our manager of emergency. You gotta help me out here.
Emergency Program Coordinator.
Thank you, emergency program coordinator during a very difficult time, a marine accident. Particularly affected the Martin family, and so these blankets are given by the Martin family to Keith Orchiston. This one, it's a beautiful blanket for his dedication and care during that very difficult time, and also from the Martin family to the mayor at the time, who was our own beloved Josie Osborne. So this blanket will go to her as well. So we'll be diligent in those and get those gifts to Josie. And last but not least, oh my goodness, look what we got. Scott Calentis. Yay, 10 years. Come on up. So great. Hey, congratulations. This is fantastic. 10 years of service. Here, stand up here while I read some great things about you. This is Service Award, 10-year Recognition Service Award. Scott started with the district in April 2014 as a seasonal parks and trails laborer. Since then, he's moved up onto the role of laborer 2, utilities worker 1, and most recently as utilities worker 2. Scott has been an integral part of the utilities team and has worked collaboratively throughout construction of the new wastewater treatment plant set to begin operating later this year. Scott has taken a logical approach towards asking intelligent, pointed questions to vendors and understanding the process of the facility from the top of the flow through to the effluent end of flow. I gotta say, this is like a ginormous project, and it is going so well on time and on budget. And it's because of you and because of all this fantastic crew. I just can't say enough about it because you're doing a great job. So anyway, back onto you. Scott is always the first to step up and help, not just with his utility role, but also to others in our department. Scott is kind, respectful, is always level-headed and approachable. Scott is an extremely reliable person to have on the crew. He's trustworthy and has a lot of care and passion in being part of the team. He's proactive in learning and teaching colleagues new to roles, not only inside of utilities, but in the public works department as a whole. Scott recently received his water treatment level 2 certification from EOCP, which is a great personal feat as well as a great asset for the community. Absolutely. So please join me in congratulating Scott for his 10 years of service with the District of Tofino.
That was a lot of nice, kind words. I really appreciate the recognition and hope to be back here in 10 more years.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Oh, it's such a great part of the meeting. I just love it. Okay, I believe that's it for Mayor's report. No delegations, no correspondence, presentations and reports. Moving on, 10.1, Mackenzie Creek, we have CEPF grant.
Good evening, America. I have two very quick reports to introduce Mackenzie Creek grant and following with the pay parking contract awards. The overview for the Mackenzie Creek project was supporting a grant application for improvements to Mackenzie Creek. The grant is worth $150,000, fully funded from the province, and it's the collaboration between ourselves, Tla-o-qui-aht and Redfish Restoration Society. The grant submission was undertaken on a fairly tight timeline. I received notification about 3 days before the grant was to close. Working with Redfish, they helped us ask for a extension to the grant, so we got the grant in with that week grace period. One of the items that we were efficient in is the support from our council to apply for this grant, which is why I'm here in front of you today. This project, this stream is intended to support the district to mitigate flooding and effects of climate change, and at the same time restore and improve the habitat of Mackenzie Creek. This is part of an ongoing process the district's been involved with for a number of years now, with various studies and reports and plans around Mackenzie Beach Creek, including the recent work as we begin to develop that road. Redfish will lead the project and will be in the background supporting overall grant management. So it's gonna be pretty much mostly hands off for us, other than make sure it's going smoothly for Redfish, but they will definitely be the lead on. That's all I have for you today, Mackenzie Creek.
Okay, maybe we can see Councillor Steer in case he has some questions up there. Great. Thanks for this. Questions from council? Comments from council?
I had a question.
Absolutely.
Given recent work on the roads around Mackenzie, will this like retroactively, through the chair, retroactively affect construction that's being undertaken right now?
It may, and so we may have to go back in once the road's built and upgrade some of these culverts. I can't say for sure because we haven't done the study yet. At the timing, you know, it's not opportune, but we may have to go in there and look at some of the culverts that we're about to pave.
All right, and follow-up question, is it potentially within the time frame now to consult with Redfish and do that right at the get-go before it's paved?
I don't think so. It's an active conversation with both our contractor and our team at the district, but we're pretty far along with that project. It's actually, we get the shovels in the ground tomorrow, and we've got a timeline that's going to take us through most of the summer anyways. And so if there's an opportunity to be able to coordinate, we will. But it'll come down to us first receiving the grant, and I don't know when that's going to be. I understand that the grant is also oversubscribed, and so we may not even get the grant in the first time. So I don't want to hold up this project that we've been waiting for with a maybe for this grant. So it may be that we have to go back in and do it after the road's done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Steer.
Yes, thank you through the chair. I was just going to read the recommendation if there wasn't any other question.
No, I just wanted to comment that I'm very supportive of this, and I really look forward to seeing all the remediation and improvements in Mackenzie Beach Creek. Thank you. Councillor Steer, go ahead.
Yeah, that the District of Tofino supports proposed activities outlined in the grant application of the Community Emergency Preparedness Fund, Disaster Risk Reduction, Climate Adaptation, and that the District of Tofino is willing to manage a grant from the Community Emergency Preparedness Fund, Disaster Risk Reduction, Climate Adaptation.
Seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any further comments from the council? All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. 10.2. Parking Services Award.
Thank you, Dennis. This is an even shorter presentation on pay parking contract award. The purpose of this report is to award a parking service contract for a period of 3 years. The contract will be funded through pay parking revenue. The district sent out NOI for a combined parking program that would encompass both the beach and the downtown and our district lots, with the intent of awarding that to Robbins. The NOI was unchallenged. We'd like to move forward with awarding a contract to Robbins. The cost of the service will be $407,856 annually for the management fee, monthly incentive fee of 5.5%, applicable credit card and transaction fees, and any applicable provincial and federal taxes. the expected revenue over the 3 years is in the range of $2,700,000.
No questions.
Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, we'll open it up for questions from council. Any questions from councilors? Only once, twice, thrice. Comments from council? Seeing none, who would like to move the recommendation?
Oh,
Super.
I move that a 3-year service contract be awarded to the Robbins Parking Services in the amount of $407,856 annual management fee, monthly incentive fee of 5.5% of monthly parking revenue after expenses, plus applicable credit card merchant transaction fees, plus applicable provincial and federal taxes, and that the service be funded by paid parking program revenue. Second.
Seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, all in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. All right, Ms. Landry. Have the financial plan bylaw.
And bylaw. Right, we are coming to the end of our budget journey. Before we get started, a couple of thank yous are in order. Thank you, council. Your decisiveness and direction and supportive staff have made it actually possible to get the budget done in this accelerated timeline. So thank you. And council, I know you know this. You have a strong team here. Everyone everyone on staff, Nyla, Aaron, April, together create an awesome culture here. So thank you for your providing and your support. And I say the best for last, the finance team. Thank you. I leaned on the finance team heavily, most heavily of all on Laura and Nicole. You guys are a joy to work with, an absolute joy. You pitched in absolutely everywhere, so thank you. Yeah, as we can see on our list here, this represents a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of people involved, and a lot of things went right for us to get this all done in this time frame. So thanks for everyone that pitched in. Okay, we have 3 sections to the presentation today. Updates since last meeting, and then we'll take a look at how we balance the budget and look at some of our peer municipalities. And we got a revised final roll, so we ran those tax calculations. First up, we have one project update. This is one new project. So Cedar Street, there were some underground works underway on Cedar Street. It was underground works, and then it would be finishing up with paving the entire street. The existing water main was seen to be deficient. It's undersized, it's not of standard materials, and it has required some repairs in the last couple of years. So we'd like to take advantage of contractors being on site and replace that pipe while the street is already dug up and fully pave it. So this has been added to the draft plan. Just pause there for 2 seconds. Any questions on that project? Okay.
Questions? I have a comment. I'm just so thankful to see this happening. You know, it's been in the past. I know things have been paved and redone and then dug up and then to fix something. So so this you know, seizing the moment and the contractors on site and dealing with an issue, I just think it's fantastic. And it seems to. I'm just very thankful it's happening. That's my comment.
Okay, other updates, that's all we have for projects. Economic updates, so we talked a lot last time about cost increases, so we won't belabor that, but we do have some interest rate changes and also some information on visitation and occupancy. So let's take a look at how that impacts our district, both in our debt servicing reserve and also in our paid parking. So inflation's still staying stubbornly in like the 3% range. CPI was 2.8 in February and core was close to 3%. And that stubborn inflation is influencing decisions at the Fed in the US and the Bank of Canada in Canada. It's influencing their decisions on interest rates at this point. So there is a lot of opinions about where interest rates will go. The monetary report there, that's from the Bank of Canada. That was a report 2 weeks ago. The Bank of Canada feels it will take more time, and they think that inflation will ease to below 2.5% in the second half of this year. So what does that mean for our district? Debt service, so these are the numbers. We have the numbers from last meeting in March. So council can see the impact here. We re-quoted those numbers and the temporary rate that we're currently paying went down. And the long-term rate estimate, if we locked in today, went up. So overall, that impact of rates for 2024 would be about additional $30,000. If we apply that to our debt servicing reserve, because our plan is to use the debt service reserve for 2024. If we put these new estimates in there, we can see that the debt reserve still has a sufficient balance. In fact, it has a $312,000 balance remaining. So just maybe keep that in mind for the next few slides, that 312. If we lock in the fall, or starting in the fall of 2024, we will see the debt reserve is going to pick up those costs and the MRGT in 2024. We will see, though, that we'll have some property tax impact starting in 2025. We have gas tax coming in, but that's not until 2026. The rationale for that is because we cannot use gas tax until we've used all of the provincial and federal grants. All of those have been used up. And our plan is to fully utilize those grants by March of 2024. So you'll see that the property tax number in 2025 is just a little bit higher as a result of the gas tax not coming in, which causes a bit of an odd blip that you see in 2025 graphically. So in your report to council tonight, we propose using 174,000 of that debt servicing reserve of 312,000 remaining in 2025 to try and smooth out that bit of a dip there. So that's in your council package and in the financial plan. Okay, I thought I'd maybe just pause there for 2 seconds, see if there's any questions, comments.
Questions from council? Seeing none, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, parking. So council has seen these estimates for 2024 before, and we're not proposing any changes to 2024. Just in summary, we were going to take the adjusted 2023, which was what we felt 2023 would have been if not for the Cameron Bluffs fire, and then took that figure and reduced it by 2%. And then we were going to bring downtown in alignment with the beaches rates over a 3-year program. So that was our estimates that we went forward with for 2024. We do have some more recent info for occupancy. We do have another data point for February, and we can see that February is below both the last couple of years. So that rather solidifies taking a bit of a more conservative approach for 2024, being that 2% below what we would have experienced in 2023. And then this is what that more conservative approach looks like through 2024 through 2027 through the term of the booking contract. So this is rather conservative. I think we can do conservative because this is all user fee. It's not affecting the taxpayers or the tax calculation. And user fees are a way to mitigate the financial pressure on property taxes. But again, this projection may prove to be possibly too conservative. But because we can see those top line revenues aren't increasing that much. And if there are revenues that end up higher than that, then it will very much impact the contribution in the bottom line. It goes straight to the bottom line. There's only some small costs associated with those higher levels of revenues. So this is, I want to sort of just put caveats on it. This is maybe perhaps too conservative, but time will tell. Okay.
Just a note, I have a comment on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just I always do look at the occupancy rates in as well as the number of units, and often the number of units go up. And so there's a relative stasis sometimes, even though occupancy rates go down, there's the same number of people here. And I think our MRDT numbers do show that that number was probably conservative. So just do well aware of that there's more to occupancy, number of visitors than just occupancy rates.
Sure. So, and through the chair, I hope that I'm wrong on the conservative side.
It's good to be conservative.
Okay, so our next section is a financial plan overview. So at our last budget meeting, and March 13th, council, we discussed balancing the budget. Staff had brought forward a draft proposal for a base level 10.1% or a total municipal tax increase of 6.87 for council's consideration. Council's direction at that meeting was for staff to go back and reduce that a bit and bring back bylaws to today's meeting. And so this is where we landed, 9.8% base level taxation for operating, which translates to a 6.6% tax increase on total municipal taxation. We talked about this already. Debt levy is unchanged for 2024, but we will see some of that impact in 2025. But the general fund is balanced with a $180,000 contingency. So this is how that base level breaks out, that 9.8. We have our staffing amount and our property tax increase on just operating for the 9.8. And then C&I levy and the debt levy come into play. And then we end up with our 6.67 total municipal tax, which is what we use to compare it to other municipalities. And it's saying that this is how we compare to other peer municipalities on the island and also on the Resort Municipality Initiative municipalities. We have a couple updates. Radium reported, so that's been added in the numbers, and Ucluelet adjusted their rate a little bit down. And so we are, island municipalities are just under 9% property tax increase, and RMI municipalities are running at about 7%, just under 7%. Yeah, so Tofino is below these averages. This is how our municipal property taxation breaks out. We have our base level taxation, so that's 9.8%. Non-market change revenue come in for $96,000 of revenue, and more on non-market change in a minute. We have our C&I levy, our debt servicing existing for our water upgrades, and our municipal tax rate, our municipal taxes will be 6.6. This is number 4 in our revenues. Grants, reserves, and user fees and charges are our top 3 revenues, and taxation comes in. We can see the large impact of grants for the wastewater treatment plant showing up in our revenue, and we can also see the wastewater treatment plant impact on our capital spend as well in pie chart. Okay, so I think that's our financial plan overview. I'll just pause there, see if there's any questions, comments, clarifications.
Council, questions? Seeing none.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at, we got our revised final assessment roll, and a bit of a spoiler alert, there is not much dramatic change from the completed roll. But we did run through all of the numbers again with the new assessment roll. And all of our comparisons here will be comparing 2023 revised with the 2022 revised, which is the last seen point from the taxpayers. You can see that our two biggest classes, residential and business, both went up. Business went up 10.9%. We'll see that that actual tax rate that we're going to apply as a number will actually drop because of that increase in the business class. Residential is increased by 2.6%. Some of that is that non-market number that we saw. Back in January, BC Assessment talked about how the median single-family dwelling here in Tofino was down about 1%. And so that overall 2.6 average really masks the overall averages. It oversimplifies the picture a bit. So we'll look a little bit deeper into some of these, like with our example properties. You will see that the results are more mixed, just like we saw with the completed roll. Talking about non-market change. So non-market change, this is not market changes. This is physical changes. So new construction, mostly in the residential side. You can see that that's about $28 million more in our class 1 residential. Non-market change didn't change materially from the completed roll. It went down about 2 million. We've got a couple comparatives there, so you can see, but it's still about 1.77% of the total assessment value. So yeah, so it's tracking pretty consistently with where it was 2 months ago. And here's our draft municipal tax rates compared to the 2023 final rates. Of course, there was an increase in the assessments, so our actual rates we'll see are dropping slightly. And so that's about all of the municipal portion of the tax bill. The municipal half. This is the other half of the tax bill. So there are tax requisitions that the district collects by law for other agencies, anywhere from regional district to hospital to library to police. And these are how these amounts are changing from 2023 to 2024. We'll take a look at the top two ones that are changing more than 20%. The regional district is up 23%. That's due to the regional transit service that we're now seeing. And the additional school tax is up 25%. The additional school tax, all properties pay school tax. The additional school tax is for residential properties that are assessed at more than $3 million. So this is something that the province introduced a number of years ago. And we can see that that number has gone up by 25% in our district. That's due to two reasons. Essentially, the eligible number of properties has increased. We used to have 95 properties that were eligible for this additional school tax. Now it's up another 9 for 104 properties. And probably more importantly, the total amount subject to the additional school tax went up 30%. It used to be 100 million and now it's 132 million. So again, that kind of talks a little bit about those properties, the higher value properties being up a bit higher. Again, all these amounts go to the province and other agencies, but they are on our district tax bill. And this is what it looks like graphically, with municipal amount of the property tax bill being about 53%. Okay, let's take a look at our example properties. Again, overall average of 2.6% up does cover up the variability that we see within that residential class. You can see these two properties are a good example of that. The top property went up 13%, and so we'll see their property taxes increase. The lower property, the second property, actually went down in assessment, and so they will actually see their taxes in 2024 will be lower than what they paid in 2023. Two more residential properties. Again, the first one went down by 8.3%, so they'll see their property taxes will drop for 2024. The second property is a higher value property and is actually subject to this additional school tax. So you see that their property taxes will be going up. to businesses. Businesses overall went up by 10.9%. These two resorts, assessed at $15 and $20 million each, their assessment only went up 5.5%. So that was below the average for the whole class. So we see that their property taxes are only going up 2.4%. And then these two example properties are restaurants. Their assessments stayed the same, 2023 to 2024. And so their property taxes will actually drop. Okay, this is the look ahead for the next 5 years. This is revised every year with new information, new circumstances. So only 2024's taxes are being set tonight. But this just gives us a look ahead into what the following years are going to look like. In 2025, we can see that impact of on the tax on the base. We can see the full year of the staffing changes that started in 2024. We can see that coming through in the 6.63%. And more importantly, we can see the impact of the wastewater treatment plant on the total municipal tax of 2025 with that long-term debt coming in. It's important to note, and this is in your report to council, that of the $891,988 that will be our estimated debt service, only 1/3 of that is actually funded by taxpayers. The MRDT and the gas tax are both funding about 2/3 of that. So it's an important thing for taxpayers to understand. And we see that the base rate and those total municipal property taxes are more modulating in the future years as we anticipate inflation to be maybe more in the 2 to 3% range in the future. Okay, so I thought we'd pause there if there's questions or comments.
Questions from council, comments? Councillor Steer?
Yeah, I no question. I think, and the reason there's no questions is I think I just wanted to really thank our financial services and to Ms. Landry in particular for coming in a particularly challenging budget year and the incredible work that the whole team has done. And I certainly know your services are highly appreciated from all of the staff that I've talked with. And I just wanted to also comment on the staff report, which was very clearly articulated. It answered all of the questions that may have been posed. And so I really wanted to thank once again for the clarity of that and the fulsome information to make this process, which could have been more challenging, a much more soft approach, so to speak. So thank you very much to all of the staff at Financial Services.
Thank you, Councillor Steer. Any further comments? Comments? Yeah. I got to reiterate that because it was thorough, it was clear, it was an excellent report. So I very much appreciate your coming in and working with the team. Great job.
Good chair, thank you. Excellent. All right. I think we have the recommendations on the slide. If you want to put that up. We're asking council's consideration of the two bylaws be given 3 readings tonight.
They're the same as in the.
Sure. I'm just going to say if we have a councillor willing to lead them, I do have them in front of me. Councillor Thomas.
I move that District of Tofino 2024 to 2028 financial plan bylaw number 1344 2024 be introduced and read at first, second, and third time.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you.
I also move that District of Tofino 2024 annual tax rates bylaw number 1345 2024 be introduced and read for second and third time.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, all in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Thank you again. Excellent.
Good stuff. Great. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to item 11. We've got bylaws, many for adoption. So I think we can go pretty quickly now. If there are comments from councillors, please, we do want to hear you. So this is your meeting. 11.1, we have District of Tofino Wildlife Attractant Bylaw. Councillor Steer.
Yeah, I would really like the privilege of being able to move this one. It's been a long slog, and I really want to thank particularly Bob Hansen for the work he did on this particular one, and the long delay through the province and stuff. It's finally come to fruition. So with that all being said, if there is no other comments, I'd love to move that the District of Tofino Wildlife Attractant Bylaw number 1317 2022 be adopted.
Councillor Thomas seconded. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Just make sure. I saw everybody's hand here. Get yelled at again. Let's make sure. Okay, great. 11.2. District of Tofino Bylaw Notice Enforcement and Dispute Adjudication System Amendment Bylaw. Any questions or comments from councillors before we move this recommendation? Once, twice, thrice. Okay, would somebody like to move this recommendation? 11.2.
I move that the District of Tofino Bylaw Notice Enforcement and Dispute Adjudication System Amendment Bylaw 1107.18 2022 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? And none opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. 11.3, we have District of Tofino Recreation Facilities Reserve Fund Amendment Bylaw. Oh, go ahead. I'll move for you. Go ahead, Councillor Thomas.
I move that District of Tofino Recreation Facilities Reserve Fund Amendment Bylaw number 1341.01 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? Twice, thrice. Calling the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. 11.4, we have the District of Tofino Traffic and Parking Regulation Amendment Bylaw. Comments from council before we request somebody read the recommendation? Seeing none, who would like to read this recommendation?
I move that District of Tofino Traffic and Parking Regulation Amendment Bylaw number 1091.09 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? It's twice, thrice. Calling the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Carry on if you want.
Sure.
Councillor Thomas.
I move that District of Tofino Fees and Charges Amendment Bylaw number 1271.09 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comment from council? Seeing none, call a question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Carry on. Councillor.
I move that District of Tofino Water Use and Conservation Amendment Bylaw number 1224.01 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? It's twice, thrice. Calling the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you.
I move that District of Tofino Municipal Ticket Information System Amendment Bylaw number 1088.09 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried.
I move that District of Tofino Bylaw Notice Enforcement and Dispute Adjudication System Amendment Bylaw number 1107.19 2024 be adopted.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried.
I move that District of Tofino Business License Regulations.
Yeah. I have a comment and question on this bylaw.
On this one,
Yeah, on
Okay.
11.9.
do you want to do it in the bylaw? Or do you have a question about it? Or let's see here,
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead. Oh, yeah, absolutely, go ahead.
I just had a quick question on the language within the bylaw, item 2A and F1. Discussing the information sheet. And just a question of clarification. So that information sheet is still to be decided by Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Tofino?
This is a good question for staff. I believe this is the water conservation information sheet that's required by businesses to be displayed. And just maybe an update on what that is. I think there was some questions from community members about whether that be a one pager or multiple pages. Question for that.
Through the chair, I think I may ask Mr.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question through the chair. Tourism Tofino, the Chamber of Commerce, TFN, and the District of Tofino are all collaborating on some marketing material that the business community may use for convenience. The law does not state that they must use our collateral. They can use their collateral as they choose, but out of convenience, we're preparing those and putting those in bulk for there.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Super. Thank you. Thanks for that. Any further questions for staff? Comments from council? Okay, go ahead.
I move that District of Tofino Business License Regulation Bylaw Amendment number 1239.01 2024 be adopted.
Sent by Councilor Master. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. Business initiated by council members.
Yeah,
Councilor Sloan?
I do. So I went to the Tourism Tofino board meeting today, and today we did appointments to board committees, and myself and Ryan Orr were appointed to the scholarship committee, which I'm really excited for again. And we also approved the board work plan for 2024-2025. In October, the Tourism Tofino board will be doing a board retreat in Ucluelet. And then we got the results back from our member survey. And most of the members are feeling really hopeful for a better financial year this year, especially in June. And then we had our performance metrics, which you guys saw a little bit of. And yeah, so they're reporting about 5% down, with a slightly higher rate being charged per night by hotels. But with inflation, it means that the revenue is actually like flatlined. And MRDT is about 6% down. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Councilor Steer.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. Just a couple of updates here from ACRD. There was an announcement through BC Transit for which is good news, about an expansion prioritization has been approved for the West Coast for our conventional service there. What the goal of that is to optimize and enhance the existing West Coast transit service between Tofino and Ucluelet. That will include roughly about 7,500 annual service hours and 6 expansion buses. There's going to be a lot more details to be coming through in the consultation process. So stand by, as they say. So, but that is good news that the province, BC Transit, is looking towards the expansion of that service in this coming. I can't remember if it's this fiscal year, but it is on its way. Quick one on the Wiccan Community School. We had the board meeting. Just a few interesting notes. There's about 24 programs that it runs. 14 of those quite unique programs, everything from garden club to chess to hangout to art history. These are well attended with on average about 25 students a day accessing those programs. And the District of Tofino's community slots are still on those Tuesday and Wednesday between 6 and 8 p.m. Once again, very, very well utilized. Just have another quick one around the Island Health had a community forum here on April 15th. There was 2 on the Monday night there with the board and the CAO present, and there were some presentations from Faye Massar, community developer of the coalition. Dr. Charmaine N spoke. The board able to engage with the public on that one. There was a number of excellent questions from the public that was well attended. And then on Tuesday, Mayor Law, we had there was a breakfast working meeting with the board, a number of community service organizations. Once again, the board was there to listen. There was some consultation and engagement boards. And I don't know, Mayor Law, if you wanted to comment further, but well attended. I thought it was a valuable exercise to have that community forum coming up to address Tofino and the region and some of the issues that we see from the community level bringing towards the board. And you may have some more to add there. It was well attended, and I think your comments were very well received as well.
Thank you, Councillor Steer. Yeah, I believe it was a fantastic breakfast meeting. Great voices from the community. I just recall that, I'm not gonna talk about what I said, whatever, but I'll just recall, I think believes it was the executive director, if I'm not mistaken, who noted it was the most invested and robust community engagement breakfast he'd had by far. So that it's a testament to our community's dedication and interest in community health and all things island health related. How's that?
Yeah, thank you, Mary Law. And I just wanted to also note one of the consistent themes that came up in the Monday community forum was alcohol and the prevalence, once again, as being the #1 public health issue in our regions, and a number of issues that related to that. So a lot of community conversation around that. And we had some presentations from Dr. Charmaine Enns, our medical health officer for the region, once again, clearly articulating the tremendous issue that exists in our region regarding alcohol consumption in our region. So I just wanted to bring that out to the table because it was something that was brought forward by a number of agencies and was well heard by Island Health and the board and CEO there.
Excellent. Thank you. Great. And we did actually it brings up AVICC. We did meet with Island Health and get updates on how the hospital is moving forward, and it is moving forward rather quickly now. So we'll look forward to seeing advances on that business case and community engagement up and coming for our new hospital and other services. Anything else from council? Seeing none. Okay. Do we have anybody signed up for a question period, Mr. Shortall?
We do have, thanks to Mary Law, we have one member of the public attending via Zoom. So I'll make a call now to ask a question of council. You can do so by raising your hand on Zoom. You must state your name, your address, and the agenda item you're speaking to. So calling once, calling twice, calling 3 times, and no questions at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Shortall. Well then, would somebody like to move us into closed session? Councillor.
I move that the meeting be closed to the public pursuant to sections 91A, C, and K of the Community Charter to discuss matters relating to A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. C, labor relations or other employee relations. E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements, if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality. K, negotiate completed discussions respecting the proposed provision of municipal service that are at their preliminary stages and that, in the view of the council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality if they're held in public.
Second by Councillor Master. Any further comments from council? All in favor? Not opposed, motion is carried. We're moving to close. We'll do a little 5 minutes recess and make that transition.